Mr. Messy by Roger Hargreaves. Mr. Messy was the messiest person you ever met in your whole life. He looked messy because he was messy. And in case he did, you can tell where Mr. Messy had been because he'd left a trail of footprints. Oh yes, Mr. Messy is messy by name and messy by nature. Mr. Messy lived in a very messy house. The chimney pot was broken. There were bricks missing from the roof, and all the windows had been crashed. And had Mr. Messy even painted his house? No. And he never ever cut the grass. And even his handle of his gate was broken, and he didn't screw another nail in it. One morning, Mr. Messy woke up in his messy bed, yawned, scratched, got up, cleaned his teeth, spilling over toothpaste out of it, of course, and he went downstairs to make breakfast, spilling cornflakes all over the floor. And Mr. Messy decided he'd walk for a little hour, so he did. So he just tripped over a broom that he left there 2 weeks before. There was a wood. Mr. Messy decided to walk into it. And then it was really far, but Mr. Messy didn't mind. He felt like walking that morning. He walked that morning. Mr. Messy walked and walked and walked. Mr. Messy found the neatest little cottage on the other side of the wood. There was a man in the garden. He looked at Mr. Messy. He looked right up at Mr. Messy. Good morning. Mr. Messy says that, said Mr. Messy. I can see that, replied the man. Well, my name's Mr. Tidy, and I'm Mr. Neat, said the other man. Neat and tidy, said Mr. Neat. Tidy and neat, said Mr. Tidy. Neat and tidy, said Mr. Neat. We're in business with each other. We got this house by just working with the ones that gave us this house. We go door to door, cleaning houses. Perhaps we can come to your house and clean stuff. But I don't want things to be neat and tidy, said Mr. Messy, looking really down miserable at both of the mans. Oh, nonsense, said Mr. Neat. Follow me, said Mr. Neat. But, said Mr. Messy. Come along, said Mr. Neat. But, said Mr. Messy. But nothing, said Mr. Neat, and pushed Mr. Messy into the van, and they drove. Good heavens, said Mr. Neat as they arrived at Mr. Messy's house. Good gracious, said Mr. Tidy. This is the messiest little house I'd ever seen in my whole life. before Mr. Messy can just open his mouth and say another word, both of them were rushing there and down and cleaning things up. Mr. Neat brought a shovel and digged Mr. Messy's garden, and Mr. Tidy went and brought the lawnmower and lawned the grass. They digged and cleaned and digged and cleaned and digged and cleaned and digged and cleaned. And the house didn't look even messier than it. Mr. Tidy then got a ladder and fixed everything in Mr. Messy's house. And then Mr. Messy's house looked tidy than before. Then they both painted Mr. Messy's house inside. Good grace! Good heavens! said Mr. Neat the second time of that morning. Good gracious, said Mr. Tidy the second morning that morning again. And then they both looked at Mr. Messy. They just looked at Mr. Messy some more. That we are, said Mr. Tidy. Oh, Row, clean your house, Mr. Messy. Isn't that neat and tidy and you like it? Mr. Messy just didn't know what to say. Then they looked at Mr. Messy again. What we're thinking is that you're living into a very clean house. We have to clean you as well. Bitch! said Mr. Messy. But it didn't work. They both got Mr. Messy and threw him in the bath. Yeah! And then both of them scrubbed Mr. Messy and cleaned and scrubbed and cleaned, and Mr. Messy wasn't having so much of having baths. Mr. Neat and Mr. Tidy washed and scrubbed and washed and scrubbed and washed and scrubbed. He didn't look like Mr. Messy at all. In fact, he looked like the opposite of messy. He looked at the two men. You know what I have to do now? He said to them both. Mr. Neat and Mr. Tidy looked a bit. I'm going to have to change my mind. They asked Mr. Messy. What are you going to do? They asked Mr. Messy. I'm going to have to change my mind, said Mr. Messy. And then they chuckled, and then they giggled, and then they laughed out, and they became the best of friends. So if you're ever like messy as Mr. Messy used to be, you know what to do. You have a visit from two people. And you know who they are called, don't you?